All right, so I'm going to start letting people in. Oh, and I recognize someone's name. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I recognize Elizabeth.
Good morning.
Soon. How's it going, Martinez? How are you?
That's going good. How's it going? How you guys?
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you guys.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
How about just another minute? We'll see who else joins, and then we'll begin.
Sounds good to me.
How's it going, Antoine?
It's going pretty good. I can't complain.
Excellent. Gregory or Curtis, how you doing? What I forgot. I didn't bring it up. 1 second. All right, so I'm just bringing up my presentation. I'm only working on one screen, so when I screen share, I'll just be able to show one thing. Oops. All right, so let's get started. Where's that? All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Schantz. I am a retired Navy, retired almost 3 years ago, right at the end of February of 2020. Did a SkillBridge opportunity with the company I'm still at. Loved every minute of it, never stopped talking about it. I've helped thousands of service members land the opportunity of their choosing, and I've helped hundreds of companies learn about the program, become approved, and build a scalable program. So full disclosure, I don't work for the DoD, but I realize that these in-depth kind of SkillBridge reviews and getting your questions answered can be difficult to come by. So happy to answer all of your questions. This is me on LinkedIn. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn and get some further information, I'd be happy to connect with you. So my background as far as SkillBridge goes, I've been in the SkillBridge game for almost 3 years. First learned about it in March of 2019, and kind of self-taught myself, and through trial and error, and then through some of the other things that we're going to discuss. At one point, we had a SkillBridge industry advisory committee where the director of SkillBridge in DC met with some of us. We discussed what we were seeing on the ground floor, and what he was seeing as far as policy and what direction the program was going to go. Unfortunately, that industry advisory committee doesn't exist. However, I still am in contact with the program office. I am the facilitator, the administrator for the DoD SkillBridge Community of Practice LinkedIn group, which if you're not already a part of that group, I highly suggest that you join. That's all we talk about in the group is SkillBridge. So if you had SkillBridge questions, I only allow 3 kinds of people into the group. Those are service members, transition counselors, and approved industry companies who are offering SkillBridge opportunities. So I want you to be able to connect directly with those companies who you may be interested in, and I want those companies to be able to connect directly with you, so that way you're not getting some secondhand, thirdhand information about companies. You can connect directly with those industry leaders and get your questions answered. And like I said, I still am my company's SkillBridge program lead. So what is SkillBridge? Okay, so SkillBridge allows transitioning service members the ability to participate in unpaid internship or training opportunities with approved organizations for up to 6 months with the high likelihood of being employed at the end. And that's really the big thing with SkillBridge is the DoD wants you to get trained up on, right? It's either for upskilling, where you are going to stay in the same job field that you've been doing, and just increase your knowledge base and get a job in the same career field, or it's for retraining. So if you're doing one thing, if you're doing logistics, if you're doing, something else, and you want to move into cyber, SkillBridge is a great way for you to do that. Okay. But there should be a high likelihood of follow-on employment, and that's really important. Companies should not be offering SkillBridge opportunities to you unless they have the intention or the expectation of hiring you. There are no guarantees in SkillBridge. If you don't fit well with the company culture, or you don't complete the training program, the company doesn't need to offer you a full-time job opportunity. And the same goes for you. If you don't enjoy their company culture, or you're not enjoying the work that they're having you do, you don't have to accept a full-time offer. But the onus is on the company. They are supposed to bring you on for SkillBridge with the expectation or intention of hiring you. For companies, it's a great way for them to kind of create the exact kind of employee that they're looking for. Think of this like a test drive, like a 6-month interview process, right? It's a way for you to get to know them, for them to get to know you, for them to show you what it is they have a need for, which hopefully it's the same thing that you have a desire to do, and really, immerse yourself in the industry, in that company, network with folks, and really, get a sense of what being a civilian working that position for that company is going to be like. One thing that I forgot to mention is I love being interrupted with questions. I don't want to go too fast. If you have a question, I'm sure you're not the only one who has that question. So please interrupt me. Let's have a discussion. I don't want you to just sit here and get a death by PowerPoint. Okay. So SkillBridge, great for making a career change if that's your intention. If you're unhappy, a lot of service members don't want to do the same thing out of service that they did while in service. So, participating in a SkillBridge opportunity is a great way to shift career fields. Definitely setting yourself up for success. One thing I don't want you to do is think of SkillBridge as the only way. SkillBridge, in my opinion, is the best way. But keep in mind that SkillBridge is only, the Marine Corps started this in like 2010, maybe 2012, then the Army jumped on, and then the DoD jumped on in 2014. Millions of service members have gone before you and transitioned successfully without the use of SkillBridge. So don't think that, if for whatever reason your CO denies you for, to do SkillBridge, or you don't get selected by a company, it's not the end all be all, but it is the best transition program, in my opinion, to help set you up for success on the outside. Again, you're going to get exposed to industry leadership, industry companies, and networking is really important these days. There's a huge shift that I've seen over the last couple of years. More people are getting hired these days because of who they know instead of what they know. So it's really important for you to reach out to your network, start building your network, start getting as many people to know you and like you as you can. Okay. If I put you in a room with 10 strangers and ask you to get $1 from each of them, how many of them are going to give you $1? Compared to if I put you in a room with 10 of your family members and ask you to get $1 from each of them, how many of them are going to give you $1? And hopefully it's your family who gives you more money, but why? The reason is because they know you and they like you. So getting people to know you and like you is going to be a great way to help set yourself up for success, and it's going to open more doors and more opportunities for you. Okay. The DoD allows each branch a certain bit of autonomy to run their SkillBridge program how they see fit. So the Army program is vastly different from the Navy program. Here, by instruction, and this has been updated, the Navy was the latest branch to update their SkillBridge policy. This is how it flows. So all branches are now in line with each other, and the only one that I don't have up here is Coast Guard. So Coast Guard is approved to participate, even though they're not DoD. This is where it starts to get tricky. Not all companies understand the process that service members have to go through. So you need to line up a SkillBridge opportunity first with the company before you can request permission to do an opportunity through your chain of command. The problem is a lot of companies, the first question they're going to ask you is, are you approved to participate in SkillBridge? Well, technically you're not, because you haven't gotten an opportunity yet. So if you've gotten verbal approval from your chain of command, I think that it's okay for you to lie to a company. For me, I'm a company representative. I want you to lie to me. Okay. I'm not even going to ask you if you've gotten company approval because I know the process that you have to go through. But if you've gotten verbal approval from your chain of command and they have said that they are going to support you to do SkillBridge, even though you don't have that on paper, I think that that's good enough for you to tell a company that, yes, you have been approved to participate in SkillBridge, because there are a lot of companies who just don't understand the process. And unfortunately, some of those companies are going to ghost you if you tell them, no, you have not been approved. So across the board, everybody's got to secure an opportunity with the company. For Air Force, you're going to work through your education office. Okay, those folks are going to be the ones who are going to open up the ADVEC application process once you have solidified an opportunity with the company. Army, you're going to work with your local SFL TAP office. Marine Corps, this is very interesting. By instruction, you're supposed to work with your local TRS office. Now, there is in my opinion, a gaping hole in the Marine Corps instruction that allows service members to circumvent the process. So if commanding officers are unfamiliar with the process, you may just be able to work with your commanding officer. I don't suggest it. The process is there for your safety, to ensure that the company is not going to take advantage of you. So please work through your local TRS office. The Navy's kind of a different beast. Most Navy transition counselors are not very savvy or familiar with SkillBridge, and it's really unfortunate. You don't need to work with your local Fleet and Family Service Center. You just need approval from your commanding officer, from your chain of command. There are some Navy transition counselors who are very savvy, who are very knowledgeable about SkillBridge. And if you have any questions, if you'd like to connect with a Navy transition counselor who's familiar with SkillBridge, I'd be happy to pass you over to them. But yeah, so the Navy does not need to use their local transition office. So how to find companies. So the DoD SkillBridge website is updated once a week, usually on Fridays. This is their SkillBridge location page. And the reason why I'm showing you this page and not the authorized SkillBridge organizations page is because they took away the search feature on the authorized SkillBridge organizations page. That search box that you see, which actually, if why isn't this minimizing? There it goes. There is. Let's go through it. All right, so SkillBridge location. Let's do 1 second. So this is the consolidated list of all the authorized SkillBridge organizations. This search box used to be a keyword search box based on the information in this column, functional area / job family. Unfortunately, they removed that search function and now it only works off of the name of the company. So if you're looking for, let's say, cyber is not in this column.
We're not seeing that, Dave.
What's that?
We're not seeing.
You're not. Oh, because I need to change. Okay, my fault. I need to change.
I see the slides. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see the slide. I'm trying to show you my screen though.
Another screen?
Yeah, different screen.
Okay.
There it is. Why isn't this working? Okay, I'll have to figure out how to. Maybe somebody can help me as far as getting back to. Nope, it's not that. All right, I'll have to come back to that. I wanted to show you real time how it works. I'll just stick with the slideshow for now and then see if I can figure that out. Okay, so in order to run keyword searches, we now need to be on the SkillBridge location page. So you would go to the SkillBridge location page, type in right in this search box what you're looking for. So in this case, I typed in cyber. You hit search, and then it starts generating all of the companies that have said to the DoD, we may be able to offer SkillBridge opportunities in cybersecurity for service members. Now, this is not a consolidated list because companies don't go back to the DoD typically and update the list of opportunities that they're looking for. Also, there are no individual SkillBridge opportunities listed anywhere on the SkillBridge site. So what you're going to find are just companies that have said, we may be able to offer SkillBridge opportunities for you. But when you open up the circle, this is not a job description. This is a generic description that the company has provided the DoD to say, this is what our program is about, and these are the kind of opportunities we may be able to offer. So here we did a keyword search for cyber, and somewhere in all of these words is going to be cyber, and here it happens to be. The other good thing about running a keyword search on the SkillBridge location page is that you're going to get the exact person who you need to reach out to in order to learn more about that company's SkillBridge opportunity. This is extremely important because SkillBridge is like the newest, coolest, greatest thing for service members, and it's still being learned about by industry leaders. So if you reach out to somebody in a civilian company and you say the word SkillBridge, unfortunately, you're likely going to be ghosted, because what I've noticed is that a lot of people are not going to take the time to search up a cool new term that you've put in front of them and learn what SkillBridge is. So right here, it's giving you the exact person that you need to go to from that company in order to speak more about their SkillBridge opportunities. Okay. I mentioned the DoD SkillBridge Community of Practice LinkedIn group. That's all we talk about is SkillBridge. I invite all of you to join and learn more about what opportunities are out there. You're also able to do keyword searches on LinkedIn Jobs and Google. Okay, so right here, I'm showing LinkedIn Jobs. So the briefcase, if you go on LinkedIn, you click on the briefcase, and I took this screenshot probably like a year or two ago. It's only showing 52 results, but what you do is you type in SkillBridge, and it's showing you across the entire United States. And right now it's only showing 52 results. If you were to go on LinkedIn Jobs right now and type in DoD SkillBridge, you're going to find probably more than 1,000 individual opportunities for you to consider. Over 1,000. Okay. Google.
So I've got a question.
Please, yeah.
So you put in the search for just the United States.
Yep.
But what if you left that blank?
If you left it blank, I think Google or I think LinkedIn is still going to pull from all the United States. This is kind of the highest level. I think it drills down from there, right? So if you're looking to be in Bethesda, Maryland, or San Antonio, Texas, right, you can specify more, more specifically where you want to be. But because SkillBridge is only built for United States use, it's going to pull from the whole United States anyway. And we can go over more as far as overseas opportunities. But
right.
just
and so that's what I was going to ask, is because we have a lot of members who are in Germany, Spain, wherever. And when I was doing the transition assistance in Germany, we had SkillBridge opportunities overseas. So the whole using LinkedIn is new to me. So that's why I'm asking is if we were to take off United States, would it pull up all those other opportunities that, I mean, I used to send people to culinary school in France for their SkillBridge. So are you saying that LinkedIn just doesn't have that capability?
I've never actually searched for SkillBridge opportunities overseas. Okay. And through my regular searches on LinkedIn, I don't typically see opportunities being offered overseas. But like you're saying, that doesn't mean that opportunities can't be offered overseas. Here's how it works overseas is there are 3 ways for you to SkillBridge overseas. One is you can SkillBridge overseas, and then the company can bring you back to the United States and hire you. That is typically difficult for most large companies, as they can't SkillBridge you in one location and then hire you on a different team in the United States. A lot of big companies, their management system, not everybody knows each other. Typically, those kind of opportunities are hard to come by. If it's just training, like if it's a vocational school, like the cooking, that's a little bit easier, because that cooking school is not going to hire you. They should be helping the service member to find follow-on employment with some other companies that they partner with. Another way for you to SkillBridge overseas is if you are married to a local of that country. So you can SkillBridge overseas and get hired into a position in that country, because every country would rather have a working citizen than a non-working citizen. And then the last way is if the position that you're going for can only ever go to an American. And typically those are going to be positions that require some kind of higher level clearance that a foreign national can't obtain. If we go and build bases overseas and then take all the jobs, well, yes, we are protecting that country. We are also taking away from their economy. We build bases overseas in order to stimulate their economy, as well as offer protection. So we offer as many opportunities to those foreign nationals, right, to those locals of that country, in order to help stimulate their economy and get as many people employed as possible. So that's why SkillBridge isn't built for overseas use. But if one of those three circumstances exist, SkillBridge overseas, move back to the United States, you're married to a local of that country, or the opportunity can only go to an American because of clearance. If one of those three opportunities exist, then you're welcome to SkillBridge overseas. Let me go back. That was a good question. Go back to screen. I figured out. Oh, you know what? Let me now that I figured out how to do this, let me go to this. All right. Now you can see my screen, right? All right, so this is the authorized SkillBridge organizations page. This is what I was referring to. This keyword search block, the functionality of it changed, unfortunately. So it used to function off of this column, right? Functional area / job family. So I just ran a cyber search, and you can see that cyber is not here, but it is here. Okay, cyber is only in their name. So that's why I'm suggesting that you run your keyword search on the SkillBridge location page. Okay, so if you type in, let's do marketing. Okay, you expand the circle, and somewhere in here is marketing. Okay, so there are, let's see, here, over 2,400 approved companies, and now we were just able to narrow it down to, this doesn't mean 424 companies, this means 424 line items. So if you notice here, these are two different line items. It's the same company, but it's two different line items. And the reason why is because they are advertising in two different locations. Now, about the locations, I don't want you to say no for a company simply because you don't see the location on here, okay? I want you to still reach out to this SkillBridge program manager and say, hey, I'm looking to move to Fargo, North Dakota. I see that you offer opportunities in marketing. Do you have anything for me there or remote, right? Don't say no for a company, because companies don't go back to the DoD typically and say, now I want to offer opportunities in Florida. Now I want to offer opportunities in Virginia. Okay, so this website is not usually updated very often. The DoD is looking to change that, but right now it's very slow to be updated. Here, let's try it out, Angela. SkillBridge show defaults United States. Here, look, 1,200 individual SkillBridge opportunities. Let's try it. Let's go France. Oh, there you go. Just wanted to see if there was something specifically written about France in here. Oh, see, this is kind of odd. Primary location, Texas. Oh, other locations. Okay. Maybe it's somewhere in here. Let's try. Did I spell it wrong? Germany. None. Okay, so you can see that there are less opportunities being advertised overseas, and that's primarily because of SkillBridge being primarily for the United States. And then Google. Let's do this live. DoD SkillBridge internships. So my computer is reading where I am. Okay, click on more, and it's kind of similar. So it's opportunity on the left, job description on the right. You click on the opportunity, expand it out, you can see what they're offering. Okay, so I don't know how many are going to be on here. It said 100 plus more on the Google search, but you can see there are a ton of opportunities for you to search through and learn about. Okay, let me go back to screen sharing. Any questions about that? What I just went through as far as how to find SkillBridge opportunities, how to use LinkedIn Jobs, Google, anything like that?
I don't have a question on what you just on those questions, but you mentioned while you were talking that a person could you said, well, don't worry about what the location is, and then you said something about remote. Are there SkillBridge opportunities that are remote?
There
and
are.
how and then how would that work? I mean,
Yeah.
are you just like getting on with someone via like this and you're learning how to do the program, and how does that work?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Because of COVID, a lot of companies needed to shift remotely. And what the benefits are because of COVID is we don't need people in the office all the time paying for that kind of real estate, right? So companies are really saving a lot of money by offering opportunities remotely. Those opportunities that are going to be remote are opportunities where you don't have to be somewhere physical to actually do the work, and or they don't require a clearance. So obviously there aren't going to be remote opportunities offered to you that require any kind of clearance because the company is not going to send classified material to your house. But you will be able to receive remote opportunities as those are growing on a daily basis. Yeah, those opportunities. So like right now, my company, we just offered somebody a remote opportunity for a cloud engineer in Vegas. We have no cloud opportunities in Vegas. We do have a Vegas office, but that's not where cloud engineering is happening. But the opportunity doesn't require a clearance, and that service member wants to live in the Vegas area. So the team has figured out that the kind of training that this service member is going to need is going to be able to be facilitated either through Zoom or team meetings, some other kind of computer-based training, right? CBTs, maybe some coursework, but the physical location doesn't matter because the way that the service member is going to be trained, it can happen anywhere. So the amount of remote opportunities that are being generated are increasing by the day. One thing that I thought of as far as remote goes is I'm thinking of Onward to Opportunity, which for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it is a credentialing program through Syracuse University. They are SkillBridge approved. They offer remote opportunities to train in certifications, IT, cyber, human resources, project management, stuff like that. Those kind of opportunities are remote, but they are also self-paced. So a lot of commanding officers will deny your opportunity to do an Onward to Opportunity SkillBridge because they understand that it is self-paced and you can still come to work, put in your military time, and then go home and do your self-paced study. So Onward to Opportunity is an amazing program. It's it's the only program that I know that you can actually do 2 SkillBridge opportunities simultaneously. So you can participate in an Onward to Opportunity credentialing training opportunity at the same time that you're doing a in-person or remote SkillBridge opportunity with another company. So that's the only company that I know of that you can do both. There are other educational or learning institutions that are SkillBridge approved, but most of them are going to take up the majority of your day. So NPower, ACI, those other ones that are focused on getting you certifications. Those are going to take up at least 4 hours a day, if not closer to 8 hours a day, sitting through lectures or training modules, getting you prepared to take the nationally recognized certification. There we go. All right. So I showed you how to find SkillBridge opportunities on LinkedIn and Google. All right. So these are just some of the companies. I've got 2 slides of companies who are participating in SkillBridge. Obviously, Amazon is a big one. They are one of the heavy hitters in SkillBridge. But the other things that I wanted to point out is, federal agencies are also SkillBridge approved. So FEMA has a SkillBridge program. The NSA has a SkillBridge program. Funny enough, the NSA will allow you to work for them as a military member and only require a CI polygraph. Once you step out of uniform and you put on your suit and tie as a civilian, that same job that you were doing with the NSA now requires a full scope polygraph. That's why the NSA's SkillBridge program is not very robust and not very large, because if you leave your SkillBridge opportunity on a Friday and you walk into the office that next Monday as a civilian, you are no longer eligible to work for the NSA because you don't have the proper clearance. So keep that in mind.
I have a question about that.
Yeah, sure.
So NSA is considered a DoD agency, right?
Correct.
So would they fall under the 6-month prohibition period for retiring service members?
That's a good question.
So if you did a SkillBridge?
Not for SkillBridge, and I don't recall why it doesn't. That is for I think that 180 day that you're referring to is for new positions that are looking to be created for a person when that opportunity didn't exist before. Right, there were a lot of times these government positions were being created simply because somebody was retiring and they wanted to do the same thing, just as a as a GS position. I'm a little less familiar with that. I'm familiar with the program, but not intimately familiar enough to fully answer your question. So I apologize for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Obviously, Microsoft, they're a heavy hitter. BMW, they have their mechanics training. Onwards Opportunity, this is what I just spoke about. Let's see. Vets to PM. One of the things that I really like about Vets to PM is every DoD approved organization has the ability to act like a middleman. And what I mean by that is, I think most of you are probably familiar with Hiring Our Heroes. On paper, service members are doing their SkillBridge opportunity with Hiring Our Heroes. Physically, nobody's doing their SkillBridge opportunity with Hiring Our Heroes. They're all being placed with other organizations. So on paper, Hiring Our Heroes owns your SkillBridge opportunity, when in actuality, there's another company who will be responsible for your training and subsequent hiring. Vets to PM has one of the largest third-party provider programs that I know of, and at any given moment they are facilitating between 70 and 80 opportunities for service members with unapproved companies. So so I think very highly of them. United Health Group, they're a Fortune 5 organization. Municipalities, this is one of my favorite things. The entire state of Virginia has a SkillBridge program. It's called Hire Vets Now. They essentially act like Hiring Our Heroes. They're a third-party provider. So on paper, you would submit to your chain of command that you are doing your SkillBridge opportunity with Hire Vets Now, when in all actuality, you're going to be placed with another organization. Okay, Veterans Florida, that is the state-run organization for the state of Florida. Indiana has a program. Who else has a program? Indiana, Florida, Virginia. I know Montana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Texas are all working on programs as well. I've spoken with South Carolina. So municipalities are jumping on board the SkillBridge train. Okay, Department of Veteran Affairs has SkillBridge. Disney, they took a big break during COVID. I think they're starting up again. Okay, all right. So how to tie this all together? You want to start early. Okay, there are dozens of service members that DM me weekly. Okay, I'm here. I'm at my 6-month mark. What opportunities do you have for me? And I'm like, holy cow, you completely missed it. Okay. Most companies are not going to be able to generate a SkillBridge opportunity for you in one day. Okay. Most of it is going to take resume reviews, LinkedIn profile reviews, interviews, right? Some kind of, lead time in order for them to set you up with the best opportunity that they have a need for and that you have a want for. Okay. So please don't wait to get started on your SkillBridge journey, right? Start early, start connecting with recruiters, start connecting with program managers, learn about their company, and make sure that that company is in fact the company that you want to join. Okay. Sometimes I get questions of, can I frog hop, from company to company? The answer is no. Right. And the reason why you can't just do 2 months at one company, 2 months at another company, 2 months at a third company is because of the high likelihood of follow-on employment. As a program representative, if that is something that I know that you're looking to do, you then negatively affect my numbers that I have to report back to the DoD. For me to offer you a SkillBridge opportunity means that I have a high likelihood of employing you full-time sometime before the end of your SkillBridge opportunity, which means if you leave, that's a negative number for me. So then I should have never really given you that opportunity in the first place. So that's why you want to do your investigation. You want to look into companies beforehand. So that way, when you accept a full-time offer, when you accept a SkillBridge opportunity with a company, you feel the same as the company does, that, provided you're enjoying the opportunity and you enjoy the company culture, you expect to accept the full-time offer with the company as well. Okay. So how do you start your SkillBridge opportunity or your SkillBridge journey? Figuring out what you want to do and where you want to live is by far the best place to start. I cannot help a service member who says, I'm looking to do anything and I'm willing to live anywhere, because that doesn't mean that you're going to be happy doing what I present to you, right? We want, and when I say we, I mean companies, we want to create long-term relationships with you. We want to create long-term employment opportunities for you. We don't want to train you for something, hire you, and then in 3 months later, you find something else because really you weren't happy in the training that you were receiving, right? So dive into who you are, what is going to make you happy, and that's the opportunities that I want you to go after, okay? Follow those companies on social media. You'll get a good idea as far as what their culture is, but don't think that that's the only place to learn about them, okay? When you fight with your spouse, do you take a picture in that moment and then post it to Facebook and tell, everybody, hey, I'm fighting with my spouse about what time my kids should go to bed? Keep in mind that all of the posts that you're going to see on social media are going to be positive posts, okay? Don't think that there isn't negative about those companies. This is where it's incumbent upon you to connect with those companies and host informational interviews with them, learning about the culture, right? If you want to be a cyber analyst, then I want you to go connect with a cyber analyst from a company, right? GDIT, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. Go connect with cyber analysts from those companies and learn what is a day in the life like for a cyber analyst with your company. They're going to talk about all the great stuff, but I want you to ask them, what do you enjoy the least, or what do you absolutely don't like? There is suck in every job, and I want you to learn what are the bad things, what are the bad aspects of that company or of that job that maybe you're just not aware of. That's really what's going to dictate whether or not you want to join that organization or do that job. Okay. And then obviously networking. Okay. Networking is going to be huge. Okay. So starting the process late is definitely going to hurt your opportunities. As far as application go, there are 2 applications that you need to think of. The application with the company is separate from the application with your branch, right? To file for approval to participate in SkillBridge. If you are going for an opportunity for, with a company that requires a secret clearance or less, most recruiters don't look any further than 90 days in advance. So if you're 6 months from being able to start your SkillBridge opportunity and you have a secret clearance, you should be in the discovery phase. You should be in the network phase. You should not be in the application phase, because most companies are just going to push you aside, and your application is going to sit in a black hole because they're not ready to look at you, because they only look 90 days in advance. If you have a top secret or above, specifically if you are looking to join a federal agency or join a defense contracting company that supports a federal agency that requires a TS or above, you're going to want to apply 4 to 6 months before you can start your SkillBridge opportunity, because those other federal agencies do not recognize DoD clearances. Those other agencies have to perform their own individual background check on you, which is not an overnight thing. They're not just going to open up DIS and see, yep, this person has a TSFCI with the CI Poly. They're going to do a full background investigation, which is going to take 2 to 4 months. You don't want to have your background investigation limit your SkillBridge time. So that's why you want to apply earlier. Okay. Terminal leave. Terminal leave. There is nothing in writing that states you cannot overlap your terminal leave with your SkillBridge time. And actually, that's what the DoD would like. However, in practice, the Army and the Air Force are not allowing it. So as long as you back your terminal leave up to the end of your SkillBridge time, the company will be able to bleed your SkillBridge time into your terminal leave. And that provides flexibility and options for both you and the company. If you have 90 days of terminal leave saved up, you would essentially on paper only be offering the company 90 days of SkillBridge. But what if the opportunity is going to take longer than 90 days to get you through and make you qualified to be hired? You want to offer the company more time. So you can just verbally or in an email tell the company, you can bleed my SkillBridge time into my terminal leave time. And then it still allows you, or it still allows the company to end your SkillBridge opportunity early and hire you during your terminal leave, so that way you can double dip. It also means that when you reach terminal leave, if you're unhappy with your SkillBridge opportunity, you can end it early, right? You can end it anytime during your SkillBridge opportunity and then go seek employment elsewhere with another organization. Okay. Organizations must support your veteran affairs, compensation, and pension exams, right? Your disability claim. The VA is going to set you up with doctors to go do in-person evaluations. If you're complaining about your upper back or your arm or whatever, and there's not enough cumulative evidence in your medical record to support that medical issue and warranting, payments, right? Disability payments, they're going to set you up with a doctor. Companies must allow time off for you to go to these opportunities. Okay. So the rule by DoD standards is you are able to train for up to 40 hours per week, Monday through Friday, during daytime hours, right? Normal daytime hours. Think of it like banker's hours, right? 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, something like that. No nights, weekends, off shift hours, holidays, or anything like that. Once you get hired by the company, you are able to be placed in some kind of off shift, nights, weekends role, right? But during SkillBridge, it must be in normal daytime hours. Okay. And then the other thing is you're going to have other appointments for your separation or retirement. The Army has a mandatory 10-day out processing period that they have service members return back to their unit before they start their terminal leave to finish, turning in their equipment, finishing up their administration for separation or retirement. So those are periods of time that companies must allow you time off for to go take care of as well. Okay. Again, this is me. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, this is my URL. And then that's all I have for you. Happy to answer any of your questions that you have. I know that I threw a lot at you, so if I need to go over something again, happy to do so. Nothing? I answered all of your questions? I don't believe you. All right. Angela, what do you think?
I thought that was awesome. Well, you definitely answered a lot of my questions. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was like Nicholas Fowler said, yeah, it was great information, and especially being able to how you showed us how to go out there and find the different areas, not just by using the SkillBridge list itself, but being able to actually go into LinkedIn or Google and find it those ways as well. It does help. So I appreciate your time, Dave, honestly. And then I'm assuming if anyone else does have any questions from here, they can just contact you. That's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a little behind on my LinkedIn DMs right now. But I will get to you. I will give you my attention. I will answer all of your questions. One of the things that I'd like to leave you with is never saying no for a company. Okay. I always want you to look into and ask and make the company tell you no. One of the things that I mentioned was locations. Because a lot of opportunities are being offered remote. When you go on the SkillBridge location page, if you don't see your city listed, don't think that the company cannot offer you a SkillBridge opportunity in the city where you intend to live. Make the company tell you no, right? I'm looking for project management, in San Antonio, Texas, but the company's not listed there. Reach out to them anyway and let them know that you're looking for project management opportunities in San Antonio. Maybe that's a line of business that they haven't established or developed yet. Make them tell you no. Maybe your email to them is what kicks them into gear to develop that line of business, right? So it'll never hurt to ask. Secondly is a type of training opportunity. Don't say no for a company. So if you know that Amazon offers cyber opportunities, but on the SkillBridge website, they are not listing cyber, reach out to them anyway. Hi, Amazon, program manager. I'd love to explore your cyber opportunities in Washington, D.C. Make them tell you no. Make them say, no, I'm sorry, we don't have any cyber opportunities, right? If you know that a company they employ cyber folks or whatever kind of job you're looking for, if you know that they employ those folks, again, it doesn't hurt to ask, but it will hurt you if you limit yourself to just what you're seeing on the SkillBridge website. Like I said, the SkillBridge website is only updated once per week. The program office is drowning right now in the amount of interest from companies and the amount of updates that that are looking to be made to the SkillBridge website. So don't take it as gospel. The only thing that I would say is the most updated and accurate is the authorized SkillBridge organizations list. If the company is not showing up on that list, chances are they're not approved, and you would need to go through a third-party provider like Hiring Our Heroes or one of those state agencies in order to facilitate that SkillBridge opportunity for you. Oh, about that, sorry.
Oh. Okay.
If you're looking to do a SkillBridge opportunity with a company that is not approved, don't say the word SkillBridge to them. Don't put a cool new term in front of them. Instead, I want you to say that you've been approved to participate in a fully funded fellowship program. Fully funded fellowship program. Everybody knows what that is. But what they're going to come back to you with is, you've been approved to participate in a fully funded fellowship program. What program is this? Then you can say SkillBridge. If you say SkillBridge to somebody who doesn't know what that is, you're likely going to get ghosted. They're not going to do their own research. They're not going to go on Google and find out what SkillBridge is. Everybody knows what a fully funded fellowship program is. That should generate their interest. Fully funded meaning they won't have to pay for anything. Obviously, if the company is saving money, they're going to like that. Yes, sir.
Let me find my where's my thing at? You can't hear me, can you?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Why not apprenticeship? Why? Because fellowship to me is aligned to college.
Okay. Absolutely. You can replace fellowship with on-the-job training, employment skills training, apprenticeship. You can absolutely replace.
You got to say fully funded so that they back off and not worry about cost associated when they bring it up to their higher ups.
Well, now here's the thing, right? So apprenticeships, when you say apprenticeship, I think of like ACE, right? ASE, right? The mechanics, right? Working on cars, stuff like that. Those are going to cost money. There are some companies who are willing to eat the cost for those nationally recognized certifications. Other companies are not willing to eat the cost. So what they have done is they've gone to the Department of Veteran Affairs and have asked permission to charge GI Bill funding. A company is unable to charge GI Bill funding for SkillBridge unless they have been approved by the Department of Veteran Affairs. The VA is the gatekeeper of all GI Bill funding. So first the company needs to be approved by the VA, then the DoD would approve that company to receive GI Bill funding for SkillBridge. The DoD does look into what the company wants to charge. There was a company that I was working with probably about 2 years ago. They wanted to charge an enormous amount of money for like lineman training, right? Like those, the telephone wires.
Utilities, yeah, those.
Yep. So the DoD said, no, we're not going to approve you to charge GI Bill funding. There are other companies, there are other training platforms that will charge significantly less money to offer the same training. Well, that company went back to the drawing board and they found scholarship money to be able to lower the price that they were going to charge service members. So the DoD is on your side, on the service member side, to ensure that your GI Bill is just not going to be taken in one fell swoop. You're going to get the value in accordance with the amount of money the company is going to receive.
It's a lot.
Yes, sir.
So
I did have one thing for the individuals on the call. If they could unmute, say where they're at in the journey, unless you guys did this when you opened.
We did not.
They need as much practice engaging for this next chapter that's coming up. So if they could just unmute one at a time, say who they are, where they are, and where they're at or in their journey.
go on, Antoine. I saw you go.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start first. My name is Master Sergeant Antoine Finch. I'm about to wrap up a 24-year career. I'm a cybersecurity guy by trade. Did a lot of school training with individuals. So I've been an instructor for a while. Right now I'm working doing CCRIs and stuff like that. So I'm part of one of the only groups that does it for the Army. As far as my journey right now, I'm looking at 1 November next year retiring. And I think I'm still really undecided on which company I want to go, because it's a lot of cyber opportunities around here. I'm at Fort Gordon right now, so I'm like at the Mecca right now for it. So I'm just really undecided right now.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I apologize. I want to pause somebody else from going. Don't apply to one company. I want you to cast the widest net across all of the approved companies. Okay. If you email me and say that you're interested in cyber with my company, my timeline is not the same as your transition timeline. You don't know if I got into a car accident. You don't know if I went on vacation. I may take 2 to 3 weeks to get back to you, right? And all that time has been wasted. So I want you to cast the widest net possible across all of the companies that are saying they may have cyber opportunities for you. Learn about them. And then when you're ready to apply, I want you to apply to all of the companies that you're still interested in. Never put all of your eggs into one company's basket. That will maximize the number of opportunities you have to choose from and will allow you to choose which opportunity is best for you and your family.
Duly noted.
Elizabeth?
I think Ricky showed his video first, so I'll yield to him.
Ricky, there you go. Oh, you're on mute, sir. Ricky, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Team, I joined late. I just got done with an interview with Verizon, and I'm just trying to catch up to what you guys were saying. So I'm all ears. I apologize with the video.
Welcome. Elizabeth?
Everybody, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Agapios. I'm a signal officer wrapping up a 22-year career. Done everything from put up routers and switches in Afghanistan to working in the front office at DISA right now, which is awesome. I want to stay in technical field, but I still want to manage people. So I'm looking at technical program management because I still enjoy like working with the guys and gals, learning all those technical details, and then talking to the customers and the stakeholders on what they're looking for and trying to align those two priorities. So I'm just submitted my packet to retire in October 2023. So guess I got some time to go.
Excellent.
Curtis? Curtis, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. How you doing? My name is Master Sergeant Gregory. I'm stationed in Warren, Michigan at the Program Manager's Office for PMLAV. I'm about a year and a half out from a 30-year retirement and working up here in and around the civilians. Most of you have been retired. I really attached to what they're doing as they're still supporting the warfighter. And with that being said, 30-year career in the military, I want to continue to support the warfighter and possibly in a government job.
Excellent.
Thank you. Martinez?
One sec, I was trying to get to someplace quiet. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm Martinez Walthall, stationed down here at Tampa. My transition is June 30th, so July 1 is my retirement date. There'll be 20 years Air Force. I'm already a part of the Hiring Our Heroes fellowship program on cohort 2301. I've done quite a few interviews now, maybe like 5. I think I did my 5th one Tuesday right after I talked to Angela. The last one went pretty well, so I'm waiting to hear back from the HR department to see, because like he was saying about having a clearance, I have a TS, so the timeline was kind of short, but the position they put me in, it wasn't required a TS, but they would host a TS. So that's where we're sitting at right now.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Martinez. And then I think that Nicholas, he's not going to be able to because he is currently, he's in a skiff. So I don't think that he'll be able to speak. Bonzel, we can't hear you, Bonzel.
No, how about now?
Oh, no, yeah, sorry, yep.
No, I wanted to say thank you to Dave. Great information. And as you service members are far more advantaged with the SkillBridge program in the last 10 years than the generation before you. So if you didn't catch Dave at the start, he was sharing that there are millions of service members that have made this transition without this program, and there will be millions more. And he was just trying to help you navigate and include it in your transition and give you the tools and the knowledge to effectively enhance your transition. But from what I heard, you folks are leap years ahead and you're already in the industries. I have to, roll up my sleeves when I have a junior service member that was a trigger puller that thinks they want to do something different and is trying to get certified and go to school and figure out their journey is a little different than the seasoned professionals that are on the call. So I always will ask where we're at, hoping that there's a junior person that can see your transition so that it helps them think beyond being school educated or taught from an instructor. They need life, real people instances to hear from. So that's why I made that suggestion. And I just want to say thank all of you for your service and look forward to working with you with Warriors Ethos. And Dave, we're going to have you on again, bro. That was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. All right. Well, it looks like we are right at 11:59. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you joining us. And I will be pushing out more events. So please continue to come and enjoy all this great knowledge. Thank you so much, Dave.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Let me know what
everyone.
else I can do for you, service members.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, that was all.